Hello, it's Lauren, and today we are talking about Uoma Beauty, which, if you haven't heard of the brand before, it is created by founder Sharon Chuter. And if you recognize that name, it is because she is the woman behind the Pull Up for Change campaign that you may have seen launching all over social media in the year 2020. But Uoma Beauty is her line, and Uoma in Igbo means beautiful, which is a native tongue to Nigeria. So it's a beautiful tribute to her home country. So today I have basically everything to do a full face of makeup, and none of this is like a first impressions. Like, I have tried all of this. I have some pretty firm opinions, but we will do a check-in at the end of the day. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start with the Say What foundation. This foundation comes in 51 shades, and I am the shade T1W, Fair Lady, my fair lady, because I am pale. Okay, so I have to say, the first time that I used this foundation, I said, what? Because it was like water when it first came out. Like, it launched out foundation colored water. So word of the wise, give it a good shake before you like pump it out for that first time, because you might end up saying what too, because I was like, whoa, like this is really, really watery and not what I expected at all. So this foundation, like I said, it comes in 51 shades. 51. How is that for inclusivity? I think that's fantastic. This foundation I would best describe as a medium buildable coverage, which medium coverage foundations tend to be kind of my personal preference. And this one is really nice, and it matches my skin tone pretty spot on. The description of this particular foundation is that it's like a luminescent matte, which I also feel is pretty on point. I have to say, I really like how this makes my skin look. It just looks really, just kind of fresh. It's not like overly oily or dewy, but it just looks nice and even. And you can tell, like, it gets some good coverage. It didn't completely cover up my little blemish up here, but it definitely gives you a good overall kind of base and canvas to start with. Just cuts out all my redness, which I really like. And to be quite honest, because this foundation is pretty buildable, honestly, I could probably build it up and skip the concealer altogether. But since I bought the concealer, I want to show you that too. So really, really like this foundation. Their shade range is incredible. This would be repurchase worthy for me. I like how quickly I can get my base done with that, and I'm not like fussing with it a ton. So the concealer is called Stay Woke. Cute name. And I really like this too. I feel like it's kind of a medium coverage for a concealer. There are 19 shades total. And I feel like this has a slightly more kind of radiant finish than the foundation, but I don't mind that. I find it a little bit more moisturizing, more emollient. And because of that, it doesn't cling if I have like dryness under my eyes, which I really appreciate. But I really like this formula. It really makes you look rested. Which I think the name is cute on so many levels, but it's very, I love this, the skin products in particular, because they are so easy to work with. I just feel like that brightened up this whole side of my face so much. The one thing I will say about this concealer is I've tried it both with and without setting. When I don't set this concealer, it can get a little creasy in that fold that's directly under the eye. When I've set it down, I don't have issues with it. So I think it just kind of depends on your skin type and like what it might do with that. My skin type is kind of a combination And I have larger pores and things tend to move around if I don't set them. So for me, it wears best with a little bit of powder. You know, it's kind of funny. I've been using so many like cream stick formulas lately, and I haven't used as many liquids. I really enjoy liquid foundation. I think it's just so easy to get a really nice overall canvas and base. I really like how this stuff makes my skin look. So, since they don't have a powder in this line to set things down, I'm going to use just a little bit of my Huda Beauty pound cake just to kind of lightly set through my T-zone where I tend to get oily and things move around a little bit more. And around my eyes really, really well. Just to stop any of that creasing underneath. But also, I have their mascara. And, well, it moves around on me. So I definitely want to give it a good fair shot by powdering really, really well. Honestly, we're gonna just go in hard with the powder prior to all of my eye makeup application because I don't want mascara smudges if I can avoid them. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with the Carnival palette. Okay, so I haven't really been wearing a lot of like bright eyeshadows the past year. Something about COVID hitting and I just kind of like lost all inspiration to play with palettes. Like it just became a hassle and like not something I was super interested in. Like I wanted like one eyeshadow to swipe on and be done. But I saw this palette and I was like, oh my gosh, that's beautiful. It's very different than most of my eyeshadow palettes, all right? I don't normally go for extremely bright colors, especially ones that have like neons in them, right? But something about this just like awoken that part of my soul that kind of got buried over the last year, okay? It's the first like bigger palette. This is big for me, okay? I'm not one of those people that can do like the 50 pan palettes. I can't deal with that. It just stresses me out. But this is a bigger palette for me. And I really, really love this. So I've done a lot of different looks with it. This was actually the first product from Uoma that arrived to me. I placed the big order and then I decided last minute that I wanted the palette, so I ordered it separate, and this actually came to me first. So I've been playing with this the longest out of everything that I have from them. And today, because we're gonna do like a bright red orange lip, I'm gonna do kind of like a monochrome look with this, but I'll put up some pictures of the other looks that I've done with this palette so you can get an idea of the versatility, because I think it's just a really special palette. And I realize it's not for everybody. I realize not everybody would enjoy this kind of palette because it's a lot, but it's what I need right now. So I'm gonna go in with the shade Tenerife, which is like this peachy kind of color. It's a shimmer. That's the other thing about this palette. It's a nice balance of shimmers and mattes. And there's so many options with it. So I'm just gonna do kind of a nice sweep from the inner corner here out a little bit and just really softly blend that, and I'll bring it up just a little bit. I just want this to be a somewhat soft eye look, as soft as I can go with this palette, just because the lip that we're going to be doing is really, really bold. So again, just a very, very soft wash, kind of hugging into that inner corner a little bit, drag outward. Swoop it up a bit. Now I'm going to take the shade Bahia on my pinky and very lightly pop that into the corner and kind of drag just a little bit for some added brightness on the inner corner. Same thing over here, kind of rotate my hand. Normally I would switch, but I'm using my other hand to hold up this palette right now, so. And I have a very small workspace. Add a little bit more there. Now what I'm going to do is take a very small kind of pointed dome brush, and I'm going to use, kind of going back and forth here. What do I want to do? I haven't used this shade yet. Aurora. I'm just going to take this on the outer corners and make a slight V shape. This is one of the mattes in this palette. I make a slight V shape because I got their Cleopatra eyeliner and I want to do kind of a winged out cat eye with this. So we'll do this on the other eye too. Okay, I'm going to add just a tiny bit of that shade also on the bottom. Now I'm going to take a blending brush and very softly feather out that color. These shadows blend out so nicely. They're so vibrant and richly pigmented, but they're still really easy to work with. They don't feel like chalky or cakey like how some powders can be. I don't find that these really have a ton of kickback either. They're just really beautiful and easy to work with. I would love to get one of the other palettes. I think it was called Black Magic, and it had like, there was one that had like it was like a navy pan in there. Oh my gosh, I would love to play with that one. So I might get that eventually, now that I'm kind of like diving back into my palette life. But we'll see. All right, cool. So now let's go in with a little bit of Brow Fro. How cute is that name? I love it. So this is a fantastic little product. Tiny little brush, kind of like Boy Brow. There are 6 shades total, and I got the shade 03, which is like a light brownish color. And what I will say that I really like about this one is that it has a really good hold, and you actually get a lot of pigment when you apply it. So they also have some brow pencils if you're more of a brow pencil kind of gal. I just find in general, I tend to enjoy kind of like this pomade gel type product more on my brows. I don't do like a super sculpted brow. That's pretty rare for me to do now. I used to do that, but that's just really not my kind of preference at this point. So look how much structure that gave my brow, and it was like very minimal work. I really, really love this. I'm gonna do a quick little comparison for you guys because I recently did a review of the Merit, and this one, I think I like the Merit less than Brow Fro because it could be 2 things. I think that I should have gone with a darker color of the Merit, but also the Merit just doesn't have the same hold. Like, it makes your brows look really fluffy, which I appreciate, but look how much more structured that one is. And again, it could just be because I went with a light brown instead of a blonde shade like I did with Merit, but the Merit just doesn't have the same hold. And that's like one of the things that I really like in this kind of like brow gel product. So if I had to pick between the 2 of which one I would say I would repurchase, this one would be it. Because it shapes and tames my brows so fast in comparison. Like, I just don't have to work hard at it. And my brows really aren't like falling down when I use this. So I like her. Okay, brows done. So fast, so easy. I love this product so much. Like, if you're looking for a Glossier, I wouldn't even call it a dupe, but alternative, I think that this would be an excellent product. I think that the Glossier Boy Brow has a slightly more kind of dry, almost clay-like feel, where this feels a little more waxy and pomade-y. And initially it looks a little more wet, but then it kind of dries down. I don't know. I just really, really enjoy this product a lot. Okay, before we move on to the mascara, I'm gonna do the Cleopatra Ink Blacker Than Black, y'all. Oh, it says y'all. That's like so like Texan. I'm originally from Texas, so I'm kind of like, wait a minute, why is that on there? So I actually really like this. This does not move. It stays on so well. It has a little tiny felt tip. The interesting thing about this little felt tip is that it's actually more pliable than I thought it would be. But like, if you know that going into it, it's actually not hard to work with. I think it's pretty easy to maneuver, but I've just become so accustomed to like a really firm, like brush tip. So what I like so much about this is because it is so fine, you can really, really taper nicely from the inner corner and work your way out. And you can definitely build it up. The nice thing about this too is it's not overly like shiny. It's not like a flat matte pen either, but it's not like overly shiny, which I don't tend to like that. Yeah, it's just, and it's also really, really dark with that first line. You don't have to like keep layering, because sometimes like I've used liquid liners that they're almost more like gray. But this is very, very nice and dark the first swipe over. So let's do the other eye. All right, nice, crisp, sharp lines all over the place up in here. I love it. Now, okay. I have to be very honest with you guys. This next product, I don't love. And it's not because it's a bad product. It's just because it smudges on me. It's their mascara. And, you know, mascara is tricky. And mascara wears very differently on everyone. Like I said earlier in this video, I powdered like crazy because I want to try to prevent this from smudging as best I can. We'll see if that helps. Like I did powder a lot before when I've used it and it's still transferred. So it might just be a flop for me. We'll see tonight. So what I will say though that I like about this mascara is it's got this hourglass shaped wand and it's a nice, rich, creamy formula. I love the way it goes on. It's called Drama Bomb. They only have one shade of this and the eyeliner. Something weird about this mascara. She is very scented, like scented. Like it surprised me when I first opened it up because I was like, whoa, that's like very perfumey. So if you're like really sensitive to fragrance, this might not be a hit for you. So, okay, what I like about this is it builds up really, really nicely. It doesn't get clumpy. It makes your lashes just look really plush and voluminous. And it actually gives a decent amount of length. I don't find that I have like crazy amounts of clumping with this either, which is also really nice. And it builds up really well. Got a little mess over here. We'll clean that up in a minute. That's okay. One coat. Like, it's really pretty. It's a really nice looking mascara. It just unfortunately does not seem to agree with my eyelids. All right, let's build this up a little bit more. Made a little tiny mess right there. And let me see. So this is actually kind of funny. I use a lash serum, which is why my lashes are pretty long. And the funny thing, I think when I sleep, I might rub my eyes because like I've noticed, I get these like little hairs that kind of grow like close to my tear duct that I don't remember really having before. Okay, makeup is looking good. I feel cute. Now let's finish with the Badass Icon Matte Lipstick in the shade Tina, which is like this bright orangey red that speaks to my soul. I love this lipstick. And look at that. Look at the bullet. I don't know if you can see that. Whoop, whoop, whoop. It's got Uoma stamped on it. It's so cute. So the thing with this lipstick, it is a matte. And so I like to prep my lips really well with a lip balm prior to wearing this. But what I will say, this lipstick has the most ridiculous staying power. I literally ate a bowl of chili for dinner and it was still on. Like, it had barely worn off in the center, but it was still there. It's impressive. It kind of has like it feels kind of creamy going on. And then I feel like it kind of sets down almost more like a powdery kind of feel. Look at that color. It's so pretty. I love it. So what I have found, since they don't have a blush, dab a little of that. And what I'm going to do is wipe off that excess that was on my finger and really just kind of smudge and buff this in and pat. Kind of use all the moves to get this on here, but I loved how this looked as a blush. And it gives you that really nice cohesive tie together. So, multitasking, people, I'm all about it. And so one of the things too, because it's a lipstick and it's more pigmented and kind of like a harder formula than like a really soft creamy blush, if you feel like you have some edges there, what you can do is take your brush and whatever foundation is left on it, just kind of like buff and stipple out those edges. And it gives you like just the prettiest wash of color. It ties everything together so nicely. Make sure you don't have any of that on the inside of your lips so you don't get it on your teeth. But that, my friends, is Uoma Beauty. And I love it. I really have enjoyed all of these products, save for the Drama Bomb mascara. We'll see how this wears today. I really powdered a lot. And just for good measure, we're just gonna pop on just a little more powder just in case. We're gonna pray that it doesn't smudge, but it probably will because it just seems to be one of those formulas. But otherwise, I love how this makeup performs. My skin looks just really fresh. It's not overly shiny. I do get shiny throughout the day, as you'll see at our end of day check-in, but I'm happy with how this wears. This eyeshadow palette is ridiculously good. The look that I did with this pink, even when I washed it off in the shower, like there was still a wash of color on my eyes after I'd washed my face. It's like ridiculously long wearing, but I think it's really beautiful. So we will check in at the end of the day. I'll see you in a little bit. All right, we're here for our end of day check-in for Uoma Beauty. Overall, I'm a little glowy, but I'm not like super greasy, which I'm happy about. I somehow still have lipstick on. And like, yeah, I don't know how that's even possible, but I do. Eyeshadow is still intact. Eyeliner is still sharp. Brows are still standing. They haven't fallen too bad where my hair rubs over it, which is also good news. And as you can see, we got some mascara smudges, which I honestly kind of expected. This isn't as bad as it was yesterday, but I still have some there. And you guys saw I powdered a ton. I just think that mascara is not for me. Everything else though, I really love. I actually enjoy how my skin looks despite it having a little bit of a glow. It's not like greasy. You can kind of see the concealer, it doesn't like make lines in my fine lines. It almost kind of like separates out of them, which is kind of funny, but you know, I don't hate it. I don't hate that at all. I'm totally cool with that. That actually doesn't look as bad as like some other foundations at the end of the day. Overall, I would repurchase all of it with the exception of a mascara. I just don't know why that doesn't work for me. It's so sad because it looks really pretty on my eyelashes, but you know, can't win them all. Anyway, I hope that this review has been helpful for you guys. If it has, please make sure to like and subscribe. That helps other people to find my channel and I can continue bringing you these kinds of reviews. So thank you so much for watching. Oh, and by the way, none of this was sponsored. None of this was gifted. I purchased it all myself. I always kind of forget to like say that kind of stuff at the beginning of videos, but I'm going to try to do better about that. So thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.